Whole surprise. Welcome, everybody. This is not Shamela or Lucrezia. We are having technical issues. So there are a whole lot of us who are already down in the chat, and that is awesome. Thanks, guys. Your support means the world. So Shamela is having sound issues, and I see she is back. I'm going to try and put her on the screen. Hello, can we hear you? Yay, we can hear you. Brilliant. Okay, we're off to a good start.
What a way to start the day.
Nothing like having technical issues and trying to go live.
I'm sitting here for like 15 minutes and waiting for Lucrezia to make an appearance. And I'm like, am I off? Is she off? I don't know what's going on.
So Lucrezia was having technical issues, you were having technical issues, and I'm sitting in the chat entertaining myself. I'm here without makeup. As you can see, I'm crafting. I've got my apron on. Yeah, so I will join you for today.
Thank you. It was meant to be the two of us. Okay.
Absolutely. That's awesome. Okay, so like and share, everybody. Like and share. Don't forget to like and share. I'm just trying to find it on my phone. In fact, I'm not even going to do that now. Let's get busy with who is in the chat. Let me just actually clear my desk. I was just about to start another project. I have a nice blank canvas, so I'll put that on one side. Make space for my mouse. Oh, sort the hair out. Right.
Right.
Okay, so we've got Belinda to the rescue. Yes, Karen.
I found it.
They're saying hello. Deborah's saying hello. Hello to everybody. We've got a happy Saturday. Christiana's in the house. We've got Sula Plague. So everybody in YouTube, as usual, is having a hello party. They're all saying hello. If I'm looking over there, it's not because I'm trying to look at Shamela. It's because that's where my laptop is. And I'm reading everybody. Amanda's saying hello, everybody.
Hello.
No, you didn't miss us. We were having technical issues. Okay, so that's why I'm here. Sans makeup, sans nothing. Lucrezia, in fact, she's even disappeared from backstage. She's gone. Shamela had sound issues. And I realized because there were a whole bunch of us sitting in the chat already, like from before time. And like Lucrezia is normally like bang on time. I'm like, I'm tempted to go in backstage and see what's going on.
I was on at about 10 to 3 and everything was going fine. And then all of a sudden I couldn't hear what you were saying. So coming back in. And anyway, here now.
Okay, breathe. Just breathe.
What I'm planning to do today. So I hope I can remember everything.
Okay. Start at the beginning. We're live. Welcome.
Hello, everyone. Welcome to our epic live. Today, we are hopefully going to finish a photo folio.
Oh, wow.
A sample for you. It's got lots of little flaps and pockets and stuff. And I'm using the new Alice Through the Looking Glass collection. I think the only reason why I grabbed it is when Omar pinned me down to say, what are you doing on Saturday? And I said, okay, this collection came, let me just use it.
I know, and it's gorgeous. I've seen some amazing projects being done with it. So I haven't actually got my hands on it. I asked for the Sleeping Beauty, and it's gorgeous. These windows, oh my soul. Check this out, people. You can make them see through.
Have those molds here.
Oh, they're gorgeous. So
while I flip my camera, have you got something to do?
I'm just going to check and see if I have the calendar for the week. Give me a second while I look for that. No, don't see calendar. Okay, well, I'll find, let me just go and see what we've got. And I will, I'll put our banner up. How's about that? The me that's not Lucrezia. And then you can change your
I'll do that. Oh, thank you. Oops.
You can change your camera. And yes, somebody's saying, love the windows. They are absolutely gorgeous. We've got hugs from Chile. Tracy needs those molds. You so need those molds. Oh my word, they are just gorgeous.
Very cool. I think we sold out on ours. They arrived and they left.
Lynn Cupido's in the house. Hello, Lynn.
Okay. Belinda, can you see my desk?
I can see your desk. Yes, we are. I will get rid of this picture and we can see your desk. And I'm going to give you full screen. So nobody has to see my makeupless face today.
Thank you for saving the day.
No problem. I was going to be in the chat anyway. Now I get to chat to you in real life. That's so cool.
I was actually on the verge of just clicking Facebook Live on the Stamperia site because I was like, nobody's coming back to me. I don't know what to do. Send Belinda.
I'm just so funny because my phone is going buzz, 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 and you're going ping, 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 like the good old days when we used to have ping functions on our Blackberries.
Exactly. That's what I thought. Let me just get your attention quickly.
Okay, so Craftia M has a question for the window that I showed. I guess you cut out the windows before the mold fully dries. Okay, so Craftia M, I ran it really thin with resin. And when it's so thin, it's very easy to just sandpaper the back and then cut it out with a craft knife. So yeah, so that's what I did with the resin. I use a 2-minute resin. Every country has different resin. I know internationally there is some brands that are everywhere because Stamperia doesn't have a hard white resin. They have the beautiful crystal clear. Okay, over to you.
Okay, so hello everyone. Thank you. My iPad has gone off the blink now, so I can't see a thing that I'm doing. I'm going to depend on you to help me.
Okay, right. So currently right side is upside down for us. The word says right side, but it's upside down. That's very funny.
I wrote it upside down. Okay. So this is my sample, my prototype, the original one that I did, but we will be doing it from scratch. I just wanted to give you an idea of what we will be doing today. So it is a photo folio with some flaps and pockets, etc. And it has a right side, a middle, and a left side. So on the right side, you've got, and I hope you can see me.
Yes, you're perfectly in shot. I'll tell you if you need to move up, down, right, or left. Don't worry. Carry on.
So on your right, you have some flaps. You've got more flaps. So there's quite a bit there. And then we have a waterfall feature in the middle. And on the left-hand side, we've got a lovely big flap going out to the side. So there's place for many, many photographs in here. We've got a little pocket going there. There is another flap and another one up. So there's lots to do today if we are going to finish. So that's
I call it lots of real estate for photographs and paper.
Exactly. So as you can see, I have prepped almost everything. I've cut everything to size, and I've made notes for myself in case I forget. I can't forget live on Facebook what I'm supposed to be doing. So we'll start with the right side first. Okay. And please shout if you have any questions.
Okay. Jennifer Lee Duke is already saying, oh, wow, Shamela, she needs the recipe.
Okay. The recipe will be forthcoming. I will make up a set of notes and then I'll post it on Facebook for everyone.
Perfect.
All right. So we're starting with the right side. And if you want to make notes while we are at it, I have written down notes on my sheets. And if you can't see it, just give me a shout and I'll read it out. So the right side.
I don't think anybody's going to be working along at the moment. And I know you're going to do awesome notes that will be available. We'll post them in Stampers Worldwide. I will post them in my group. You can post them in your group. We'll flood the internet with all your notes. So don't stress too much about that.
Perfect. So so your first piece is cut down to 8 7/8 by 10 inches. And I know 8 7/8 is a really odd number, but that is how it happened and that's how it ended up being. So we'll work with that.
That's and the thing with working with inches. But it's fine.
If it was just a little bit too big, then it was going to look lumpy. So I cut off that 1/8 of that. So on the 8 7/8 inch side, we are going to score it at 1 1/4. Okay, so we're scoring there at 1 1/4.
And just remind everybody while you're scoring, which side do you fold then? The bumpy side or the other side?
When you're actually scoring, you see you will have a little bit of a crevice. So there's a bumpy side and there's a side that has a little bit of a, what do you call
dent.
this?
The dent.
The dented side. There we go. My brain seems to have lost all functions. So side and we've got a bumpy side, and when I fold, I always fold towards the bumpy side. You will find that it goes a little bit easier when you fold towards the bumpy side. Okay, so that is your right side. Then we need our, so what I'm going to do, let me just explain to you, is I'm going to try and assemble the whole right side, try and assemble the middle and the left side, and then we'll just put it all together. That's the plan in my head. If it works, it works. Otherwise, we'll just deviate from the plan.
So, one has to have a plan so one can deviate. That's awesome. Perfect.
Exactly. So, then we've got, I've made more notes. There's a flap here. So, on the 5 1/2 inch side of this flap, we're going to score it at 1/2 inch. Let me just make sure I'm doing it. 5 1/2 score on the 5 1/2 inch. So all the areas that we are going to glue down, you need about 1/2 inch. You can go smaller if you're running short of cardstock, but I prefer to keep it standard and just score 1/2 inch. It makes it easier for me to remember what I'm doing. And then I have 2 flaps that will go to the right on the right hand side, and these, okay, I'll put this in the notes. We don't need to know all that. So 6 1/4 by 6 1/2. So on my 6, and let me just make on the 6 1/4 side, I'm scoring at 1/2 inch, and on the 6 inch side, I'm also scoring at 1/2 inch. So those are also 2 flaps.
Okay, so we've got Monica's asking what will it be today. So Shamela is making a folio, and she's going to cover it in the new Stamperia Alice.
Yeah, Alice through the looking glass. So these are also 4 flaps that will go on the side, and I'm scoring those as well on 1/2 inch. This is the closure for some of the flaps. Oh, and let me just make a note for myself here. So I need to write your magnet.
Oh, yes. I always forget the magnet. Then I have to try and lift the paper and slide the magnet underneath, and it usually ends in a disaster. So then I have to do a repair job. Yes, make notes, people. Make notes.
Please make notes. I always make notes for myself. And this is my top flap, so I'm going to score on that. Right. Let's do this. And I'm going to refer to my sample, because without the sample, I'll be totally lost.
Yes, thankfully we'll have your notes. I think I'm going to make this with Lady Vagabond.
Oh, this is going to be nice with Lady Vagabond.
The challenge is on.
So we've got your base, which is your 8 7/8 by 10 inches. And what we're going to do first is we are going to attach our 4, 2, 3, 4, those 4 inners. And you can either use double-sided tape or you can use glue. I prefer tape because especially for these things, I like an instant stick. I don't have the patience to wait for the glue to dry. So I tend to use red tape. I don't know if it's available all through the world, but
I think so. I've found it wherever I've traveled.
okay. So when I do construction, I like to use a tape that I know is not going to come loose after a while. So I opt for the red tape.
So your daughter's in the house, and Wasala's saying, I got a sneaky look at the end product and it's gorgeous. Perks of being her daughter.
Okay. Well, she's one of my advisors. So yeah, you see now the bone folder has taken a walk. Let me just get
If you're anything like me, it'll be in the top of your scoring board. And Crafty I Am is being awesome. She's putting measurements out and she's doing, I think that's Spanish.
Thank you
And
so much.
so Jennifer's going to do Lady Vagabond with hers, and Kim is going to do Lady Vagabond with hers.
Awesome. So I have to save my Lady Vagabond stuff for my
Design team post. I know.
Okay. So when you're using double-sided tape or red tape, it's always a good idea to burnish it well so that you get a good connection.
And it also makes peeling that backing off so much easier.
Yeah, definitely. So what we're going to do with these it's just going to sit on the inside of our base. So Belinda, is my base in shot now?
You're perfectly in the middle. You can go slightly up, like about 2 centimeters up.
2 centimeters up.
Perfect. Now you're bang in the middle.
Okay. So you see now I've forgotten to burnish.
Oh, you didn't fold your
fold. So let's fold. So we've got to fold all the score lines. I just keep telling myself today, do what you would do when you normally crafting. So
yeah, just pretend the camera's not there and you're talking to yourself. It's fine.
Just pretending I'm talking all to myself and no one's here. Up the side.
And somebody, Sam Thompson from our design team is saying hello. Yes, it's a surprise. It wasn't meant to be me. Lucrezia is having technical issues, so I hopped in. And then we have Barbara saying, I love how you cut everything, then scores everything at one time. Genius. Why haven't I thought of that? There you go.
Thank you. Well, that's because I knew what I was doing. Normally, when I'm planning something, I never know where it's going to end up. The difficulty, or maybe I shouldn't say the difficulty, I should say the exciting part of making something like this is when you start creating lots of flaps and pockets, the more you do it, when you get to one point, you think to yourself, I wonder if I did that, what would happen? I wonder if I did that, what would happen?
So, I wonder if is my favorite game, and the what if.
Yep. So I think for me, coming up with new ideas when I'm creating one thing, it's a fun part for me. So let's do I've just distressed my edges because, I love to distress edges.
Yeah, and it's much easier to ink all at once as well. So cut, score, fold, ink, and then we can get going.
Yeah. So can you see this the score line here, Belinda?
Yes.
Score line. Okay, so when you're placing this down, you need to put it next to the score line, not on the score line.
So a couple of millimeters away, otherwise it won't fold, yeah.
So that hinge will fold nicely. And I am going to stick the other one next to it on the opposite side. Now, when I do that, I tend to just pull off a small piece because, with the red tapes, once it sticks out.
Once it's stuck, it's permanent, yes.
So I normally just pull out a little piece. Can you see what I'm doing?
Yes, so you've got a little tail.
I've got a little tail. And let me just turn it around so I can see. I've got the camera right smack bang in the middle of my face. So
I know you try and look on this side of it, you try and look on that side of it, and all you want to do is stick your head under it.
Okay, yeah. So we lost the tail there. Okay, there we go. So we've got that. There we go. So that's our first set of flaps are in.
You make it look so easy.
The next one will go at the bottom. So let me just see. So in this case, you can either put these ones down first and put the inside flap after, or you can do it the other way around. It doesn't really matter. But I think I'm going to do the bottom one first. And I'll tell you why in 1 minute. Let me just put some tape on here.
Okay, and while you're putting tape on, Dot is saying, I hope you can hope she can watch from the beginning.
Yeah.
So and you can watch from the beginning. You'll have to fast forward a little bit because there was a technical glitch at the beginning with Lucrezia, and Shamela had no sound. And so, yes, we chit chat for quite a lot at the beginning, so you can fast forward. You haven't missed a lot, Dot, I promise. And then we have Marlene, our friend from South Africa, asking, will the measurements be available? Yes, Marlene, we will. Shamila is going to put notes. You know how beautiful her notes are, always so precise and so clear. And so we will be putting the notes on. I will post them in my group. Shami will post them in her group. They will be on our Facebook pages, our personal ones, and we will put them in Stampers Worldwide. So they will be everywhere.
Okay, so the reason why I want to put this one in first is because when I put the other two flaps in, I want them to be hidden under this flap. So you don't see that there are two other flaps underneath.
Oh, that's clever, because otherwise they might stick out.
Yeah, so I'm hoping that this is in shot.
It's perfect and it's straight. Stick it, girl, stick it.
I've actually thought of drawing lines on my desk so that I can where the camera ends, but it doesn't. The camera is not always on the same place every time.
No, it's not.
So you see.
And Agatha is saying, sorry, everything is very clear. You're a great teacher. I agree.
Oh, thank you so much. Thank you. I'm always nervous to come on the Stamperia page.
You shouldn't be, my friend. You are awesome.
Traffic tells me, and don't tell people you're nervous.
You know what? I think it's a natural thing to be nervous when you go live anyway, even on your own platform. But when you're on a company's platform, I don't know. It just adds that edge of anxiety because you know that you are quite capable of doing it, but just, like starting off today where your sound didn't work, that's not your fault. That's the flipping internet, No. So not everything is in your control.
No. And if you're anything like me, we like it to be in our control.
I think that's why you and I are such good friends. We relate on so many levels to this control thing. Everything must be measured. Everything must be exact. Everything must be in its place.
I know what you mean. I know exactly what you mean. So when I'm putting the second one in, I try and line it up with the first one. And using this edge here, can you see that?
Yes, just that little piece sticking out.
As a guide, so I know that it's going to be in line with my top flap and in line with my right flap, if that makes any sense. So that is the first part done. Right.
You make it so painless. It's awesome.
Then we've got a top flap that comes right down from the top down. And I will explain to you. You see, we've got a lovely broad channel here. This is 1 1/4 inches. And because we've got that wide gap there, we can have bulk on the middle of our folio, and we can have bulk on the right side as well. There's enough gap here to accommodate for the bulk. And you have to remember that when you're adding photographs, you're adding layers, perhaps you want to add some three-dimensional things to it, that is always going to add bulk. And if you don't want to have your folio or album gaped, then you need to add extra into your spines.
Yes. And sometimes I even add extra when I'm doing, because now you've got 3 flaps at the bottom.
Yeah.
That top flap will sometimes give a gusset as well, depending.
Yes. So we're folding towards the bubble. I'll just move some of my things. And I thought to myself, you must think of everything, because I knew my red tape was coming to an end on the row. And I said, okay, just get an extra one, because knowing you, it will probably run out while you're busy.
Okay, Agnieszka's asking what kind of paper are you using for the base? It's craft stock.
Craft card stock. It's about a 250 gram card. I like to work with about 250 grams, and I'm just flipping this upside down so it's easier for me to place. The reason why I work with about 250 grams is it's nice and sturdy. You know, it's not going to fall apart. You see, now I see my measurements is slightly off. So I'm going to just take 1/8 of an inch off that. One moment.
Oh, because now it's got to sit inside the flaps, the sticky bit.
There we go.
You could have always put it over the top from the back, but you've already put your double-sided tape on.
Double-sided tape on. It's the... Well, this now you're seeing a real live representation of how I
all the rest of us.
I do have. Okay. See, my husband actually brought me some red tape. He thought I ran short.
Oh, so sweet. You have the best family. Miss you guys. And Tina's saying, love all the detailed tips. Lots of great information to help me improve my attempts at crafting.
Oh, thank you.
Believe me, we haven't got where we are without a lot of mistakes, a lot of learning curves. And yes, so Tina, just keep trying. Just keep doing it. The more you do, the more you learn.
You know, let me tell you one thing. With every mistake I've made, I've learned. So I don't have a problem making mistakes, because that's the way my work improves.
The thing is, you learn more from making mistakes than if you did it perfectly every time, because you have to re-engineer or you have to think out the box. And certainly in the art world, when I used to teach acrylic painting classes, if somebody dropped a brush or did something, used the wrong color, whatever, we would often have to, again, think out the box. And the project landed up being so much better because we had to push harder to improve it, to fix it, than if the accident hadn't happened at all. So, yeah.
There we go. So I'm ready to stick this one down. And you know, if it doesn't work according to your original plan, you just make a new plan.
I know, one has to have a plan to change it.
Yeah. And that's what you learn when you actually teach, because nothing ever runs smoothly when you teach. There's always someone that's going to make a mess or make a mistake. And
yes,
then
we use the wrong piece of cardstock or score it on the wrong side, or
and you fix it, hey? You've got to fix it. So that's where you got to learn to think on your feet. Okay, so the next 2 pieces I have are going to fit here. And the one I cut slightly smaller than the other one, so that when this one is closed, you don't see the bottom one as well. So let's just put on. So they just cut by about a 1/4 inch smaller. And a lot of these extra flaps occur because of the offcuts that I have. Okay, so I never throw anything away. In fact, you will see I've even kept these little bits of the Alice papers because they're just too beautiful. I can't chuck it. I'm going to punch things out with it or die cut something with it. It really is, there's really no need to throw anything in the bin.
No, I often use those. So I often stamp on them and cut them out. So paper piece my stamps.
Yes, that's a good idea. Okay, so we've got our two flaps and they will fit one into each other like that on here. And at this point, you can decide whether you want it. You could actually even stagger it if you wanted to, or you can put it more to the top or more to the bottom. It's entirely up to you. I am going to put first the big one down, and I'm just going to eyeball it and try and put it in the middle. So, and I turn my work a lot when I work so that I can, because I hardly use a ruler to measure things like this. I just use my eyes. So I turn my work so that I can try and, what do they say? I learned a term from Jerry yesterday, carpenter's eye.
Oh, yes.
I use my carpenter's eye.
My granddad had a carpenter's eye. You could see if something was like a millimeter out.
Now, it actually gets to a point where it's bad when you have carpenter's eye, because when Shafiq hangs a frame or something at home, then I'm like, no, it's you. But he's also got carpenter's eye, and he is much more pedantic than I am. I will still be flexible in terms of when I place something. It doesn't necessarily, especially on my work, it doesn't necessarily have to be all right and left and straight. But he's like, why is that stew? Can't you put this? And I sometimes like to have something off center. So that's my closure flap. This one. And I'm just putting tape on.
When do you put the magnet on?
I put it just before I actually put the pattern paper on. I should actually do it now, then I know it's.
I was going to say, just do it now, because if it was me, I would forget.
So you see now, I've forgotten. I stuck the tape on the wrong side, so I'm going to put the flap on top. My intention was to glue
to have it underneath.
But now in my absent-mindedness.
And I was talking to you, sorry.
So, no, that's fine. You see, we have to deviate from the plan somehow.
Want plan B, or is that plan C?
It's going to sit on top there now. So,
thankfully, there are 25 letters in the alphabet.
Oh, yes. So we're going to eyeball that. Oh, let me just distress that edge quickly. And we shall eyeball that on the edge. And that's that. So let's do the magnets while we remember.
Sorry if I'm not putting, I've got lots of people speaking other languages and I don't have my Google Translate, so I can't see what you're saying. So I don't want to just put something up there if it's a general comment. So I've got Martha with
a question or a comment now.
Yeah, but she's laughing at the end of it. There's a yeah. So
maybe it's something to do with our change of plan.
I don't know. My mom can speak Portuguese and understand Spanish. I don't know if she can read Spanish. Mom, okay. Listening. I think my mom's doing something else.
So I use really tiny flat magnets. And
she is watching. She's watching live, so she can't hear me, but she's watching live. So there's a 1 minute delay before my mom responds. Sorry for the hysterical laughter. Can you understand reading Spanish, Mom? So Crafty M says they're just repeating some parts for the non-English. Oh, thank you, thank you, thank you.
Oh, thank you. That's so kind of you guys. This community is really sweet. I have to say,
everybody looks after everybody. It's so awesome.
really wonderful. So I'm placing a magnet down there, and then I put the tape over it again, just so that's not going to stick all over the show. And I learned something from Jerry as well, because she does her tape, her magnets like this. So she sticks the magnet onto the tape on the sticky side, and she closes.
Oh, that's what I do too. Then it's fast. Sorry.
You know-
Then it's, I just realized I switched into South Africanism. Then it fast means fast, like holding, like
So they
stuck.
are perfectly tied down. And I normally put glue on, and then I do so this one seems to work much better. It's quite faster. So that's our side A done.
And you have lots of hearts from Pepsi. Peppy.
And let's find the rest of it. What did I do with it?
In your Bermuda Triangle.
Yep.
For once, my desk is clean because I was about to start a new project. You just caught me in time. I would have been up to my elbows in paint. I was about to do a background.
Oh my gosh. I was like, who do I call now? What do I do?
Who do you call? Ghostbusters. Just call me Ghostbuster.
I was literally on the verge of going live on Facebook all by myself. Didn't know what to do. I thought, Amina, there's people waiting for us. What are we going to do?
I know, because we were all busy in the chat entertaining ourselves. So, Crafty M, we will be using the new Alice, the through the looking glass Alice.
Okay, so our middle panel is cut 10 by 10 squared, and we're going to score on the 1 inch and 8 3/4.
Oh my word, we have Charmaine Webb in Australia saying, hello, baie mooi en creatieve dames, Shamela and Belinda van Perth, Australia. It's funny to see Afrikaans coming from Australia.
Danke. Baie dankie.
It's so funny because I want to switch into German now. My German is stronger than my Afrikaans.
Oh, good. That's wonderful. I'm so happy.
I'm a bit out of practice due to COVID, but at least I've got COVID to blame.
So
this something to blame.
This is our centerpiece, and I've got that 1 1/4 inch gap there. So that is where your middle piece and your right piece will join. Okay.
And I like the fact that you're overlapping so thick because that will give it extra strength.
Extra strength, yes. So that's our centerpiece there, all scored. And we have a waterfall in the middle. And I love doing waterfalls because you can get so many pages onto one sheet. And so many photographs, onto one.
Because if I'm making an album, it must have photographs. And for those of you who don't know, as South Africans, we like to have as many photos in an album or on a scrapbook page as possible. That's just how we roll. I think it's almost like a competition to see how many photos you can fit on a page. And for scrapbooking, because they go in sleeves, I don't like doing the flips and flaps and things unless I flip it over the sleeve. But for these mini albums, it's perfect because you can get as many as possible.
So I have got 5 sheets on my waterfall, but this page can take more if you want.
So now we've started an Afrikaans roll. So lekker om Afrikaans ook te sien in Durban, Perth.
And then this is my waterfall closure. And I've done quite a broad one for the simple reason that I think you can actually add a photograph to the top of this one as well. So that would be nice.
I quite often, because I've got the little photo printer, the selfie printer. I quite often print all my photographs first in all the different sizes before I build my album. That's just how I like to roll, because then I can do as many waterfall flaps as I need for the photographs on that page. But as this folio is, I mean, you can do the same. You can print your photos first and add extra flaps.
That's true. Most of the time when I do a specific album for myself, I will first do all the photos and decide where they're going to go, and then I tackle my my pattern paper. Then I add the pattern paper, because when you're adding a photograph, you don't always need paper behind it,
No, exactly. Especially as your photo sheets there, I mean, the sheet size you're using there doesn't look like there will be much sticking out. And on that note, Crafty I Am is asking if you're going to use 2 paper collections, or will one album be enough?
Will one pack be enough?
Yes.
I have used a selection of items because I got greedy when I saw all the nice stuff. I've opened up a 12 by 12. I've opened up the 8 by 8 background, which is, oh my word, absolutely. If you have not ordered that pack, you're missing out big time.
I know it's a nice thing that Stamperia is doing now with the background packs.
I love it. I love that background pack. It is beautiful. I've got that. And then I also was very nosy to see what the collectibles looked like. So I cut some of those. And, this is a game changer, eh? The collectibles.
Being able to reverse things.
How many times have you thought, oh, this thing is facing the wrong way?
So many times. And then there was a time that I made a box and I had Alice on the outside of the box. It was one of those domed lids, like a treasure chest.
Yes.
And when you opened the box, you had like the back of her was just the other side of the paper. It wasn't her again. And I wanted her facing in. So these are brilliant. I love that you can have things sticking off the page and you can see it from both sides. For me, it's brilliant.
For pop-ups. Those are gorgeous. It's perfect. Perfect. I think that's a game changer in the whole scrapbooking industry for me. I love it. Whoever thought of that idea, it was brilliant.
Deborah says she loves listening to us. Thank you.
Deborah is such a sweetie pie. Is that Deborah Evans?
Yes.
Deborah is my favorite fan in the world. He's on my page every week when I sign in. She's there.
So for those of you who don't know, Shamela has her own shop in South Africa, and she has Kanya Crafts as her group. You can join her group. And every Wednesday evening, or most Wednesdays, electricity allowing, and I'll explain that in a minute. Every Wednesday, at what time, Shamela? 8.
We meet 7:30 South African time.
7:30 South African time. So at the moment, it's the same time as Europe. It's 1 hour different from the UK, and lots of hours different from America. I think.
Yep.
Anyway, so she does a live every week on a Wednesday evening with a different project, and the girls in the chat often choose what she does the following week or make suggestions. And so let me just explain about the electricity issue. So in South Africa, some of the power stations haven't been maintained very well, and there is a shortage of electricity. So then they have it on a rolling blackout schedule, and you do mostly know in advance when they're going to switch off or not. But then there's moments when, well,
you don't.
You don't, and you just go into an unscheduled blackout. So sometimes those electricity blackouts are at the same time as when Shamela should be going live. So, well, then she can't do it. But that's living in Africa for you.
Yeah. Okay, so I have scored and folded all my waterfall flaps. Now, because we don't have this thing assembled, just remember that the flaps have to go at the top, but your broad margin is your right side, is on your right side. Otherwise, your waterfall is going to be upside down. Because knowing me, I would probably forget that and just do it the wrong way.
That would be me.
I am eyeballing the center. If you want to be.
No, you're using your carpenter's eye.
I am. If you want to be pedantic and you want to make sure that it's a perfect center, then by all means, use a ruler.
And you're using the previous edge to line it up against?
I am. So I'm lining it up against the next one. And that's how we go. 4, 5, one below the other. And I was messing with aqua colors and glamour pigment today, so I want to show you what I've done with it. Oh, the stuff is so beautiful.
Aqua colors are lovely liquid acrylics, and the pigment, is that the glamour powder you have there?
The powder, yes. The powder, it is lovely.
Yeah, it's amazing to mix into just about anything. I've mixed it into gel medium. I've mixed it into my resin. I've mixed it with, I don't think there isn't anything that I haven't mixed it with yet. Amazing stuff.
Beautiful. It's beautiful stuff. So I'm adventurous now. I pulled the whole piece off. So let's hope I straight. Living on the edge.
Living on the edge, girl. You can do it. How many of those waterfalls did you do?
I've got 5, but you can do more. I'll show you in a minute. Let me just stick this one down.
Not living on the edge this time.
No.
Was that too scary for you the first time around?
You see, I want them to be straight. So you see, you've got quite a considerable gap here still.
Yes.
And you can add several more. But
For the sake of being live and saving trees. Kidding.
Yeah. So this is the closure. And we're using our carpenter's eye again. So what I would do is I'll use those 2 sides as my guide to see.
And the bottom to keep it straight, yes.
And the bottom to keep it straight, yes. So I'm going to stick it in line with the bottom and pick the 2 sides and we connect it. There we go. So we need 2 magnets there as well. And let's just do it before I forget.
Yep, that would be me.
I've done it so many times. Oh my word. It's just not funny. I'm going to get a basic feel.
Okay, so yes, I was going to say, can you slide it up so people can see what you're doing? Because you gave such good tips last time, and we just need, reinforcement by watching you the second time is always good.
I put the red tape back on. And with these magnets, you have to make sure that you've got because it works on,
or it'll push away from itself.
Yeah, North Pole, South Pole thingy. I'm not that way inclined, so let's just test it because it will
Positive and negative.
Positive and negative. It will repel if it's not the right way. And there we go, Jerry. Thank you. Your system is lovely. So we've got our middle piece done. Yay!
I challenge you. I'm going to do this when the notes come out. I'm going to make it with Lady Vagabond. I challenge you to try it as well.
It's not that hard. It's really quite easy. I think the whole idea behind this for me is I challenge myself to come up with a different layout, a different, and who also has beautiful ideas is Paul Ford. He makes such stunning folios. So this is our left side, and it measures, let's see,
Bring
12.
it down slightly. We can't see the measurements on the top.
Okay.
Bring it towards you. Yeah.
Oh, I lied. This is not our left side. This is our inside flap. I want to stay wide.
Good catch. Good catch.
Not supposed to be so big. It's smaller. There we go. That's the left side. So this is the base of the left side, and this is cut to 8 3/4 by 10. And there's the 8 3/4 line. Can you see?
No, bring it down.
Down.
Yep.
So 8 3/4. And on the, let me just see on which side. Yes. On the 8 3/4 side, we're scoring it at 7 3/4. So that is just 1 1/4. Let me just see quickly. It needs to be 1 inch, yes. So you can either do it on the 1 inch and just flip your page, or you can cut it. I thought I would give you the right measurements. So it is 7 3/4 because we need that 1 inch. And just let me show you why. Because we've got the 1 inch there, not the right side. So we've got the 1 inch there, and those two will overlap to reinforce that spine as well.
Perfect.
And we are folding towards the bubble. And that's that. So let's do the next one. So I'm building up this page as well from scratch. So
that's the concertina side.
Sorry?
That's the side you had the big concertina.
Yes. So we've got a pocket page, and we've got more flaps there. So this is the inside. I'm going to be working on the outside first. And if you noticed, while I've been working, I always score and burnish my page as well. So it's almost like you're teaching the paper. You need to move and stay in that direction. So that's what I do. You need to burnish, especially when you're making albums and this kind of thing. The burnishing and the scoring part plays a huge role. So if you have a scoreboard, it's nice to be able to do that. I can't live without my scoreboard. I need my scoreboard very badly. I use it all the time. So this is the top flap on the left side. It measures 8 1/2 by 7 3/4, and we're going to score on the 8 1/2 side. We're scoring 1/2 inch.
Because that's where you're going to put your tape. Yeah.
Yeah. I'm just putting my notes back so I don't get confused.
Oh, there's such a nice message here from Amanda. She says, Shamela, you're making me realize that although I've not made an album yet, that I have skills already from my card making that I can use to make a more interesting album. I'm getting excited to try and make one now. Thank you.
Oh, that's so sweet. Thank you so much. Now, these two are flaps that I'm going to use. And I just wanted to let you know the reason why these flaps are the size is they were leftovers from my 12 by 12 sheet. Okay. So I always try when I start cutting paper, I will have a pile of my offcuts on the right. And I do this whether I'm using this normal cardstock or my pattern paper. In fact, I've got a container here that has all my offcuts. So when I start assembling my album, before I cut into a sheet of paper, that's my first port of call. I will check first. Do I have
for the smaller pieces? Yeah.
Yes. Do I have a piece that fits? Okay. So these are our two offcuts. Oh, I'm getting a notification.
Did you cut your paper from 12 by 12 or A4?
I cut from 12 by 12. This I had it when I started. But I mean, many of these measurements you can work from an A4 sheet as well. So On the 6 3/4 side, we're scoring 1/2 inch. Here we go. And then put my notes back. And this is, why did I not?
I was going to say, you only half inked it. What happened?
Yeah, what happened? Why didn't I do that one?
And while you're inking that, Caroline asking if I will do another babble in German. Well, make no promises, tell no lies. I don't know, to be honest. I will have to speak to my fellow German crafty friends.
So this is going to be a pocket. Let me show you. It is this little pocket here.
Oh, right.
There we go. So with a pocket, we score 3 sides.
That's probably why you didn't ink it, because...
Good. You see, I knew there was a
because you're not going to see that ink now.
Okay, so we score 3 sides for a pocket, and that will be the top of the pocket.
Okay, so Agnieszka's asking again, how many paper pads do you need for this album? So probably one large one. And
one large. I've used the, sorry, we deviated from that conversation, eh?
Yes.
The large 12 by 12, I used the backgrounds and I used the collectibles.
But did you finish the 12 by 12?
No, not at all.
So you don't have to use, like if you've only got the 12 by 12, by all means, just use that. The backgrounds pad is really awesome, so that's why she dived into that. But you can get this out of, I would say you can get this out of one 12 by 12 album.
You see, if you know which photographs you're going to use with this, then by all means, your 12 by 12 will be enough. Because you're
not going to be covering both sides of all the flaps with paper, because you're going to be sticking photographs on.
You really don't need to. Okay, so this is my inside little flappy that comes out on the left-hand side.
Bring it down a bit. Thank you.
It's 12 by 10, so it is the height of our actual folio, and I kept the full 12 inches because I didn't want to waste paper. So we're scoring at 1/2 inch, and then I just divided the balance into half. So if you want to make it easier for yourself, you can fold that over and just divide it into 2. But the measurements are 5 3/4 and 11 1/2. Oh, I lie. I cut a piece off there. But we'll get to that point later. Okay. So we're going to put our tape down.
Okay, so while you're taping it, Blanche is talking about the background pad is an awesome idea. So yes, I'm busy with my new line that will be coming out in autumn, South Africa's spring, because always 2 seasons to 1 time period. So I'm busy with mine, and I've also got a background pad, and I had a conversation with Aziza and asked, could it be like the gold Alice came out in single-sided paper.
Single-sided, yes.
And I asked if I could have my background sheets in single-sided. And you know what? It works out so much more expensive because you've got double the amount of paper.
Oh, we don't think of that, you see.
No. So the printing process is much easier to print double-sided now. Commercially things have moved on a long way, and so yes, that's why they come out. Because I was like, everybody's asking for background papers, and then we go and print backgrounds back to back, so we still have to choose. I was like, that's just wrong. And then I was like, please, and she was like, no. I was like, please, and then she explained it, and I was like, okay, makes sense. So you just have to buy 2 people. I'm sorry, but yeah.
That's the best way. Just buy 2.
Yeah.
Okay. So I'm just putting tape on all my flaps quickly. And just so you know, if you've ever had an issue with your tape running skew while you are, especially for long areas, while you're putting it down, what I do is I hold it down flat and I use my thumb and my one finger to guide it. So this little finger guides the tape where it needs to go, and my thumb holds it taut or tight, and then this is how I make sure my tape doesn't run skew.
Agnieszka's saying she can't wait for my new collection. Thank you.
Me
And
too.
Susan says, no, we buy 3, 1 to keep.
We
And
like
I
people.
always joke, I said, I always used to buy 2 papers anyway, because being South African scrapbooker, we do double pages. So you generally need 2 of everything. And especially if you like both sides, then you actually need 4 of the single sheet papers. And yes, so then there's a standing joke that you need 2 to use and 1 to stroke and smell and just, keep. Yeah.
Oh gosh, that's why I have a shop, because I like to walk around all those beautiful things. Such a sickness. Terrible disease to love paper.
It's a wonderful thing. It could be, what if we were smokers or alcoholics? It's at least we're leaving treasures and making memories for people.
No, I'm so happy. I love what I do. And I know a lot of people say, oh, you have a shop, you probably have all these things. But the reality is, we also have to choose what we want to have, because the things have to be paid for. So
just because it's in your shop doesn't mean you can help yourself.
No, not at all. So I have to really have a very strong willpower.
I've always admired you with that.
Very strong willpower. And I think to myself, sometimes I walk around and I think, this is so nice. And I touch it, I feel it, and I get over it, and I walk away.
So on my husband's side of the family, they live on a very big, in fact, it's the biggest dairy farm in the Western Cape, biggest milk producing dairy farm in the Western Cape in Darling. And when we went to go and stay with them one weekend, I was horrified to see box milk in the fridge. And I was like, but you got fresh milk like 100 meters away. He says, we don't drink the profits.
Oh my goodness. Okay, so clearly I've got my measurements way off with this one, but we will get to that one. Right.
Yeah, Sam, I don't think you should have a shop. Or maybe you have a shop in your craft room and you just don't know it. I think we all actually, if we had to put what's in our craft room out on a table, we'd be horrified. But anyway, let's not go there because, yeah.
No.
Oh, yes, we haven't mentioned the pizza box once today.
Then my husband's listening, he can't hear all the stuff, eh?
Pippi's just reminded me that we need to share the videos so you can win a pizza box. On Monday, there's always the pizza winner announced. So, yeah. Don't forget to like and share the video.
Okay, so we're working on our left side. Your score has to be on your left side. Yes, that's the right side. So I'm going to start off with the top flap, and that should fit nicely right in there. And if it's a little bit too big, mine looks like it's slightly too big, I'm just going to trim it down just a wee bit. So this one's going to go right at the top there, and it needs to fit next to your score line, not on your score line, so that we have a free hinge. I'm just flipping it over so I can see what I'm doing. And you see how sticky that red tape is. Okay. So that is the top flap. And inside the top flap, we're going to have our two little flaps going this way. And so I just decided when I made the folio that I wanted it to look a little bit different. So I'm putting one here and one here, just so that there's some interest in your design, not just everything folded at the same way. So let's just see.
I sometimes think that these books should come with instructions for people who are looking at them for the first time, like people who aren't scrapbookers or crafters. I've seen them look at these masterpieces and they don't know where to lift or move or pull or turn.
I know. Now, when I show people my work, when I share my albums with people, I page through it.
Yes.
Because they need to be taught how to do it firstly, because very often they pull and tug on the wrong places. And you know what? There's lots of my hard work gone into it. I will always tell people. So if I give it to someone as a gift, I will show them how to use it.
It's like those box cards that I like to do for people. I've seen them be completely dumbfounded when they take them out of the envelope and they can see that it, like, something's flapping, and then they discover, oh, it can make a box. But then I always do that one flap that doesn't flap down, it stays up, and the only other three flap, and then they're trying to bend that one down too, and I'm like, no.
That's my baby. Okay, so that's the top flap, and we've got a little bit of interest going there. And that will come down like that.
So Carolyn sounds just like us. We've got, because she was saying earlier that she makes cards, albums, 3D things, plots, etc. And so she says, my problem is that I like to do too much. Welcome to our world. You are so not alone. Yeah, we all have some of the same hobbies, because I started as a card maker. When I was in high school, rubber stamping was a thing. And I started with a rubber stamp collection and some paper, because I grew up with a creative mom and I always made, it was like a thing. If I went to a birthday party or had a birthday party, so if I was going to attend a party, I'd have to make the birthday card for my friend. If I was receiving gifts, I would have to make thank you cards. So I grew up doing all of that kind of stuff. And then, of course, when stamps came out, well, that made life so much easier.
I know. I love.
So, yeah, so then that started me off. So I started with rubber stamping, and then about a year and a half before my son was born, I started scrapbooking. I was putting it off because I knew that was a rabbit hole I'd go down and I'd never be seen again.
Okay, so I've got the top flap here. This is the final flap that goes on here. And I just want to make sure that it does flap down. Yes, it does. Before I stick and commit. So this goes on here. And it closes up everything on the inside. Now we've got enough gap here. If you wanted to add additional flaps on the inside, you can do so. I just worried about time, because I'm sure we're on for more than an hour already.
That doesn't matter. I've got nowhere to be.
Okay.
I was just going to be playing at my desk. And Rasal is saying the worst part is when the project you wholeheartedly made for someone and then you fall in love with it and don't want to part with it. Yes, the struggle is real.
She's speaking from experience.
Yes.
We made an album of her two kids to give to their grandmother. And when it was done, we decided, no, we can't part with this one. This one really turned out way too nice to give anyone. So we still have it. Okay, let's do the pocket.
So here come all your fabulous tips and tricks. Okay, let's go.
Before we burnish and score, I'm going to... Now, this is how I do it. If you've got your own way, by all means, it's good. We all have our ways of doing things. But what I do is I cut out that little block first. Okay.
Yeah.
And then I cut across, because now I'm using that little gap there as my guide.
So you don't cut off too much?
I don't cut off too much. I always cut off too little rather than too much, because we don't want that gaping hole that I see on many projects, and I don't like that hole right here in the middle. It's very unattractive. So,
oh my word, Crafty I Am made her first dollhouse at 8 years old. 2 floors with furniture and bedspread.
Oh my gosh.
I must admit, at that age, I already had, actually before that, because that was, so I first lived in Johannesburg until I was 7, and then I came down to Cape Town. So I remember having my own patch in my dad's garage with my own little tool set and making dolls' furniture for my dolls, yes.
Sweet. I only found crafts after I'd gotten married, actually. When I was 8, I was still making mud pies.
And adding extra leaves for extra crunch, yes.
Okay, so with pockets, because we don't want too much bulk in the pocket, what we are looking for is something like that, where the 2 pieces sit side by side and not sit on top of each other.
It's called a mitered corner.
Yeah.
And yours look like perfection, and then she's still going to trim a bit more.
Just a smidge. Now, I see that little piece there that bugs me. So what I do is I just take my bone folder and I fold it to the middle so that it's hidden. No one sees it. And
okay, now you can ink your edges.
Oh yes, thank you for the reminder.
We were trying to ink too soon. Now we nearly forgot.
I do that all the time on my lives on a Wednesday. Then I'm like, okay, deal with it. Because I talk too much, you see. This is what happens when people come to the shop as well. We end up talking, and then they're out the gate, and it's like, oh my gosh, my parcel's still inside. I'm not the best of influences either. Because I talk too much. Very often someone comes here and we will be having this awesome conversation, and when they leave, my husband says, do you know her? And I no, I don't know her. It's the first time I meet her. But when you have a hobby like
a passion, and yeah,
you know, the world is your friend, because anyone who loves what you love is what do they call that? A kindred spirit.
Yes. So Susan Blake is saying, I find I have to let go of the thing I make. Otherwise, you end up with far too many beautiful things that you can't make enough space for. So you have to let go. Sad, but you can't keep it all. Wish we could. Yeah, I just buy extra suitcases to put it in and just make the pile higher.
Okay, so what I forgot to show you now was I normally just trim those sides, just so, especially for pockets, so that it doesn't stick out on that end.
Oh, we have lots of kindred spirits in here. Crafty I Am loves tools, the power kind too, made 6-inch by 9-inch 3-section and shelves running across, very sturdy, all wood. That obviously to put all her projects on.
A woman after my own heart.
I
That's
know.
what I wish I could do.
And Carolyn says inking makes a great difference. It looks better.
It does. It always looks better.
And Joan says your lives are fun.
Oh, thank you. So we can now assemble, and I'm just going to use extra
My
forte.
favorite glue, extra cotton.
It is so lovely. And the reason why I'm using glue is because I'm not really good at sticking straight. So with the glue, not with this one as much, but with the glue, you normally have like just a little bit of time to wiggle.
Wiggle room.
We need wiggle room. So there we go. That one's in.
Linda's saying we always have an awesome chat when you go to the shop. And of course, we will not mention how awesome her shop is to be in. Yes, we know.
Yeah. It's actually grown since you've been here, Belinda.
What have you spread into your alleyway?
I have gone back into the alleyway. Back into the alleyway. We ran out of space, man.
Yes.
We space.
Joan is saying she has 5 children, 6 grandchildren, and other relatives. So for Christmas and birthdays, I give them something as well as having some in my house. So just keep making. Yes, I do a lot of personalized gifts as well.
We also, I just had a client who begged me to give her the House of Roses. She begged me. They gave me 1 day to replicate that thing. 1 day. She wanted to give it to a client as a gift. And I said, I'm not parting with my prototype. This was my first one I did. And she said, Shamela, please, I have seen this thing and I want it. And there's nothing else that is going to make this. I want this thing. And I ended up selling it to her. So I made a new album, but I sold the cover. So now I need a new cover now for myself.
The
Okay.
problem is you always plan to do it and you never do.
Never do. It's standing here next to me. I'm looking at it every day. Okay, so this was my original plan. And then I thought, okay, the left side is looking very lonely. I'm going to put another piece on the inside. And I got my measurements wrong when I scored. Now, so I'm just going to trim off that piece. It's very possible that I scored on the wrong line.
Yeah, because we were talking. Don't blame me. Distracting you.
Oh, no, don't worry, it's not you. It happens to me all the time. So, I'm going to just flip this whole thing so I can stick that in.
So that's going inside the cover.
It's going inside the cover. Here we go. And that, ladies, is your completed folio. So it will open up like that. We've got that inside cover there. This is the flap that opens. We've got the waterfall, etc. And then, of course, we've got that flap on the top that goes up and down like that. Now we need to add our pattern paper. And I have already prepped all my pattern paper, so that's not going to take too long. But what I wanted to show you before we go there is how I colored my ribbon. This is my ribbon that I'm going to use on my folio, which I hope I will remember to add.
Put in, yes. Before you glue the paper down.
Yeah. But this is white seam binding, and I just thought, let me have a quick play with the seam binding. So I've done it so it could be dry for us to use. And I just want to show you how I did it. So I used a mixture of this, the Glamour pigment, the turquoise. It is the KAPG03 and the turquoise KAQ018, the aqua color. Now, I don't want to spray the aqua color because I'm lazy. I don't want to clean the nozzle. So I sprayed some water onto the seam binding. And all I did was add bits of aqua color. Ah, there's the other bone folder. It made an appearance.
It decided it was bored sitting in its Bermuda Triangle, yes.
And I just added some of the
powder. Yeah.
And what the water does, it allows the aqua color to spread. And I just smooshed everything together. It was as easy as that. Now, I don't want to touch it now because I don't want my nails looked horrible before I came online from this. But look at that. Look at the beautiful gold.
Oh,
it gives the
so
most
pretty.
stunning color. So there we go. That's all dry. It does dry a little bit lighter.
Yes, it does. And Crafty I Am is saying you can use baking sheets instead of craft sheets because they're much cheaper. Yes, I use the kitchen version.
We all use I get I have the black and the brown craft sheet, so I've got a whole sheet. My desk is covered with it, just so that I don't mess up my white tabletop. What did I do with my tape? Okay.
Everybody's loving it, and your tip is brilliant.
Thank you so much. Right, so I am eyeballing the center.
Yeah.
I'm the ribbon down. Remembering about.
Oh, well done. The girls are still talking about the hardware store and what a wonderful place it is. I love a hardware store. Oh, my soul. I can disappear in there for hours looking for things to use to make airships and all sorts of random things.
I know.
Wait, Jermaine, we're not finished yet. This is the base from start to finish. So Shamela will be putting notes up for us and we will share them everywhere when those are ready. And then she's about to cover it with, wait for it, Alice.
Okay, so we've got our ribbon on before Shamela. Now, let me see, I've got all my papers cut, so it's not going to take that long. Now, when I do an album, what I do is I cut my paper and I never glue down immediately because inevitably I change my mind as I go along, or I come across a sheet of paper that I think, oh, didn't see this one before, so let me rather use this one instead of the other one. So what I tend to do is I take paper clips and I cut them and I paper clip everything together, and that gives me a visual without me committing to sticking it down of what my album is potentially going to look like. And if there's little bits and things that I don't like, I still have the option to change my mind. So yeah. So like for example, now I've done it in the reverse. I've just prepped everything. So I hope I didn't change too much in terms of measurements because these were cut according to the old one. So let me just see, where am I going to start?
At the very beginning.
So let's start there. I'm just going to add that. You see there, that's a little bit out, but that's okay. It's fine.
Nobody's going to notice in the grand scheme of things.
Oh, you know, my carpenter's eye has a problem sometimes with that. All right, so with the magnets, am I in shot there?
Yes.
You can see?
For this you are. I can't see the top of your album, but what you're doing right now, we can see bang in the middle of the screen. It's perfect.
Okay. So when I'm gluing paper down, what I always do is just add a little bit of extra glue where the magnets are so that there's a good connection between the paper and the paper around the magnet, because see now that's slightly fatigued, but it's fine.
Okay, so we have somebody saying hello to Shamela and Lucrezia. So, Lucrezia's changed to Belinda today because we had technical issues at the beginning and I hopped in. So welcome, welcome, welcome. And if you're only joining now, remember you can go back and watch this at any time, either on Facebook or on YouTube. And Coria is saying, love the paper clips idea.
Oh, thank you. It's because I changed my mind so much. So my plan is to put that there. So I'm just going to clip that in case I change my mind later.
Joan is saying yesterday and the day before, Facebook wouldn't let her watch the lives. Kept kicking her off, so I had to watch back. You know, Joan, you can always switch to YouTube. If you look for Stamperia on YouTube, you'll find us. I actually usually watch on YouTube. I find it works better for me.
I also watch on YouTube. Red on top. So I've used some of the red as my filler piece here. So I'm going to glue this in and then I'm going to trim the red down. So this is from the cover sheet of the
background page.
Pad, but look how awesome this paper is. It is so beautiful. Actually, I wanted it the other way, but okay. Deal. A ruler. I want to measure my quickly. So that is, I'll cut it at 3 1/4. So when I do paper piecing, I always leave like a little margin around my paper. I'll just show you in a moment. And even though there's a gap there, I think our eyes appreciate that little gap.
Yeah, it's a little space of interest.
Yes. Oh, have I cut you? Okay. You see, so with these little gaps, it just leaves a place, like you say, a space of interest for us. Right side, inside, flat. So I thought I was very organized.
I bet you are.
Now, the next thing. When I do my measuring, I don't always use a ruler. I just use a pencil. And I will mark off where I need to trim off the paper. And I eyeball the gaps, to be honest.
Everybody's enjoying your color matching of your cardstock with your paper.
Thank you. This is why I like to paper clip, because it gives me the chance to decide, change my mind. Do I want to put that there? Do I want to put this here? You know, like this, for example. I like that little stripe red, and I like the combination of the paper with the stripes. So I'm going to commit to that. And this glue is so nice. You don't need to use a lot there.
No, just a little. And that nice little nozzle works so easily.
I just in the process of ordering some of the collar glue.
Oh, with the nice fine tip as well.
I've got that one. I thought of getting the bigger ones.
Oh, the pot.
The pot, yeah. Just to try. Okay, so this one I'm not sticking down completely because I wanted to have the option of tucking something inside there.
So Crafty Am is saying, oh, cut out the center of the frame and pop her head through the front. There's so many options with this. That's the problem. You have to make a decision and commit.
True. That was a good idea. You think of that.
I know I always have a notebook near me somewhere because my head is always thinking up ideas for new projects, new ideas. And like, oh, sometimes you'll see something online that sparks something else. And yeah.
It's like my project for Lady Vagabond of last month. I mean, I had something completely different planned. And then I opened those boxes, and I thought to myself, oh, but I like that. I want to do something with this rather. So that's when the whole clock thing
Happened. Yeah.
came about so quickly.
So Nancy's saying she likes the base color of your album. Goes very nicely with the papers. Yes, it's nice and neutral.
It is.
And Roberta's saying wonderful. Lots of work. Yes, it is. But, these things, I don't know about you, but okay, so South Africa is back in hard lockdown, and these things are what keep us sane. Something to do, gifts for birthdays, for friends, for Christmas, for weddings. So
I'm very choosy who receives my gifts. I only give it to people who appreciate my hard work.
yes, all the effort that goes into it, and the cost, of course, because I mean, it all adds up, which we don't mind spending if the person's going to appreciate it.
Yeah. I'm just going to use my craft knife to trim this piece because, this is the problem with the trimmer and the smaller piece.
I am paper trimmer impaired. I cannot
It's
use them.
difficult to cut like that. That's
I'm a craft knife and ruler girl or a guillotine.
there, and there's my ruler. My ruler has gone missing. Here we go. So where did I mark it? Okay, I'm just off screen. I might be off screen for a little bit.
It's fine. We can just see what you're doing. So Karen is saying, so this is mine, because she appreciates all the hard work that went into it.
Oh, fight with my daughter.
Yeah, we know. So Fralina is Christiana, and we know that it is Alice is one of her favorites. And then Corlia is saying, yes, regarding keeping us sane, Belinda, or to get away from our desks. Yeah.
Definitely.
I don't mind that you have other favorites, Christiana. It's not, I don't have to have you liking my stuff. Everybody's allowed to have their favorite. Oh, now there's an argument. Now Deborah Evans is after it. She's saying, no, it's mine.
But you know what I do is when the things that we make on our lives, I sometimes just pop it into someone's parcel. So I don't even tell them. I just pop it in, and when they get their parcel, that's in there. So it's nice to make someone's day like that, man.
Oh, absolutely.
I love that. I love making someone's day. So it's always fun.
Yep, the fight is on. about who's going to get your album now. Deborah just had a birthday. She's adding in extra edge here.
So I'm going to put Alice down there, but I'm going to use some foam tape because I want to raise her a little bit. And you see,
Frances wants something in her parcel, please.
who wants something in a parcel?
Frances.
Shame, Frances. Frances is my buddy.
Yeah, and Amanda agrees with me. She says, I feel your pain. I've bought so many trimmers and can't get a straight line on any. I can't measure on them accurately. I don't know. I've used a craft knife and ruler since high school, so I think that's just what I'm comfortable with.
Okay, so let me see. These ones, I'm not going to put anything on because your photograph will fit perfectly on there.
Oh, Jennifer saying, get in the queue, please.
Get in the queue.
And Karen says, your daughter wins.
My daughter will always win, guys.
Nancy says, I love the collectibles. Easy to place because they're double-sided. Brilliant idea. I agree.
Oh. I'm just trying to think now. Was this supposed to be here? Right side flap. I'm forgetting my own notes. Yes, it was. Because I'm putting that there. Right. So this is my example of paper piecing as well. So I will look at the colors in the project and I will use colors that tone in, and I just thought that the red worked well there. And what I was thinking was at the time is maybe I won't stick this down altogether. I'll use this as a little tuck spot.
Okay, but can you bring it slightly down? You're off screen at the top.
Okay.
There we go. Thanks.
I just want to make sure that I'm fitting right in the middle. I'm trimming a smidge off there. At less than 1/8 of an inch. Just to make sure we don't impact the hinges.
Yes, because otherwise it all curls up and looks nasty.
Terrible. So that's going to go there. That's much. Oh, now you see, look at that side and you think, oh,
I know it's so hard to stick. You have to commit though.
Yes. You have to make a choice. Chosen that side. You have no idea how hard it is to stick straight with the camera smack bang in the middle of your face.
I know, working on a live is not easy. Do you stand when you work or do you sit?
I stand. I can't sit. I cannot sit for the life of me. If I sit, this will all be skew. Measuring this piece at the bottom. 1 4.
So is that 8x8 paper that you have there? Because that's background sheet?
Yes, that is the top one, I think. Oh dear, I can't remember actually. No, I think that's on the big pad.
Oh, okay. Sorry if I'm asking hard questions because I actually don't have Alice, so I haven't worked with it.
It's lovely. Oh.
Marlene van Nieuwhuizen is asking, Shamela, do you still have the 3D element packs?
The 3D element. Which one?
I'm not sure what she means by that. Do you mean the chipboard pieces? Marlene, can you just elaborate?
Oh, that will help. Where did I put my other ruler, my see-through ruler. Do you see it on my desk anyway?
No, all we can see is cardboard. And I think there's a pencil under one side. I can see a piece of paper. I can see your.
I need that one to cut straight, man. Oh, let me just. The small trimmer to the rescue. This is my big one. My big one is too.
Oh, Marlene's talking about the double-sided pieces, the collectibles.
Oh, we are currently. Oh, I think I might have one set left, I think. But I'm finalizing another order on Monday, so we'll have more soon. Oh, Alice, I did a Facebook Live with Alice and we sold almost every single piece of Alice last weekend.
Wow.
No.
And now Agatha is making me sing Living Next Door to Alice in my head too. And Crafty I Am is being really awesome and finding all the product codes for us. Thank you. I really appreciate that.
It's really cool. Yeah, I didn't cut straight, but okay.
Yeah, I feel your pain, Agnieszka. Nothing ever straight. I'm a craft knife and really cool.
Make a pocket and I stuck the whole thing down. There goes my pocket.
Sorry, we're distracting you by talking.
That's fine.
We know your intentions were good.
Yep. So I need a piece for here, which I'm sure I have here somewhere. Okay.
While you're looking for your piece and gluing it down, don't forget to like and share. You can win a pizza box.
So don't you think this page with Humpty Dumpty is just
Oh, it's so cute.
Look at the ivy growing, there's stripped, there's cracks in it. Oh, just a dream.
I know, it's so nice. So where you're putting it now is nice because then you're not going to try and stick something over it, because that's always the problem I have with these pretty papers is then I'm like, I don't want to stick anything on it.
I know, it's hard to make a choice. But that's why it's nice to have tuck spots, because you can tuck your photograph in and still enjoy the paper.
Yes. Yes.
Okay.
Mary Kane is getting her order next week. Mary Swanson.
So exciting. I think Francis, Karin, and I, we have like a Stamperia party every time we get a new order.
My stock of just paints and mediums arrived this week because I was running low, so I've ordered myself a whole batch. And it's just as exciting.
It's lovely. So what I've done here, if you just scooch up a bit, is I have stuck that piece down and I've put Alice on the bottom of the flap. And an idea for you is to put two smaller photographs on that
that's
flap.
a good idea.
So you can still enjoy the entire sheet of paper, the cardstock. So you're still getting your photographs in there as well.
Yes, so that's what Tina's saying. She doesn't. She uses plain cardstock where she thinks photos should go, so she doesn't use up all the pretty paper. So Shamela in this case is not even going to put plain cardstock. I don't think. You're just leaving it the brown.
Just leaving it the brown, yes.
Yeah.
Oh, you see now. Hold on. I'm on my hinge. Guys, you didn't tell me I'm on the hinge. Wondering why the hinge is not closing.
Hazel saying hello from the UK.
Hi, Hazel. Sorry, guys. I just have to trim this slightly. One little smidge off.
It's amazing how just a couple of millimeters can make such a difference to whether something works well or not.
It does make a difference. I'm leaning over my camera now so I can see where I'm sticking down. There we go.
So Amanda's saying she feels an Alice album coming on, going to be watching back over and over for your great tips. She has the single side Alice.
So that's done there. And fine right hand side. That's going to go there. So now these bits and pieces that go onto the spine and all the odd places are my offcuts that I have resorted to.
Now that's why we are scrapbookers. I'm sure that's where the name comes from, because we use every little scrap.
And that piece is going to go there. Let me just see. That's the right side.
Tuck spots. I learned this here. I think it was a Lady V video. Could be.
I love tuck spots.
So shall I be facetious and tell you not to stick it on your spine?
You're too late.
Oh dear, so Blanche is getting an all-in-one cutter next Monday. So she says, I see if something's not straight, hopefully it will solve her problems. If not, the problem is me. Yes, well.
Oh, well.
Oh, Marlene's Alice is arriving on Monday. Can't wait to make her album. Yay!
So if you have a problem cutting through, I don't think you're alone in this world. There's lots of us that cuts through.
Caroline's saying it's a lovely composition, very nice composition.
Thank
and
you.
Craftia M is loving the frames. Yeah, it's amazing how Stamperia's color schemes all just work so well together with their papers.
They do. And I've noticed that there's a specific green that they have in a lot of their papers, like this.
Yeah, that turquoise color. And then the nicest thing for me, being a mixed media person, is that their paints match so nicely.
They
so
do.
It just makes it so easy.
They do. So what I've done with the waterfall here is I have cut little 1/2-inch strips that follow on from there. So when you look at the waterfall, you will see the continuation of the pattern. Okay, like that. And I've marked them for myself. I don't stick the wrong one on the wrong place.
The bird is running off, so she says, stunning project, Shamela. Bye.
Bye-bye.
And Marlon is saying, I adore your album and the Alice papers are fabulous.
It is fabulous. I was oohing and ahhing. I did a little video review of the mini paper pack when I opened it. And when I do reviews, I never look at the paper beforehand.
Because then it's more genuine.
Yeah, so I always open it, and I open it live on my video. I get my own excitement because I get very excited when I open. And why I decided to do that was one day I was opening paper, and my daughter was sitting there, and I was like, "Oh my goodness!" And I'm like excited, and she started laughing, and she said, "Mom, it's paper." I said, "Yes, but it's beautiful paper." I love paper. I can get very excited about my paper. I clean my hands. Dirty.
It's like when I used to walk into any of the scrapbooking shops when I first started, and it didn't sort of get any less exciting. I would walk in and I kind of had to like breathe, like I'd have to calm myself down, and then I'd have to like form a strategy. When I walked in the shop, I'd have a look and I'd see, okay, how's it laid out, and then I'd walk around the whole shop first, and then I'd start choosing what I want, because otherwise, in my excitement, I'd just grab everything and then have to put half of it back. But I had to learn to breathe.
The worst thing is to have a budget. That's the worst thing for us, is that you have to have a budget, because most of the time you want everything.
Oh, Shireen Moodley's in the house. Hello.
Hi, Shireen.
Everybody's loving this strip idea.
So there we go. This is also from the 8x8 background paper pack. But look how gorgeous. Absolutely stunning.
Oh, Karen Smith's in the house. Hello, Karen.
Hey, Karen, my bestie.
Better late than never. Yeah. And Deborah Evans' budget. You can see the question mark. Like, what's that?
Deborah Evans says her husband tells her the credit card limit is a limit, not a target.
So wrong. When I was in Cape Town, Karen Smith's shop was a block away from me. I could walk there. It was heaven.
And now she's got all the Stamperia stuff there. We've been very blessed to have all our Stamperia stuff here.
Everybody's loving what you're doing.
Thank you, guys.
Yeah, and that's the other thing. So Crafty M says it looks like a stencil on the purple page. And that's the other thing, is that, whether you're into mixed media or not, or, just paper crafter, but there's always something that Stamperia thinks of that to link everything together. So the patterns work together, the stencils, the molds, the texture impression sheets, everything just, all, it's like seamless. And then also things work between the different ranges. Yes. Yeah. So you can mix and match and, use your stencils from one range with another range. And
okay, and I love how that matches or complements each other, because we've got that bits of green there and it's the same one in there, so I really like that. I love that purple color. Okay, let's get the next one. So that is.
So are we on the, what are we doing now? I'm lost.
Left side now.
Oh, the concertina piece.
Yep. So my pieces, this one, remember we had a little bit of a boo-boo earlier, so I'm going to have to...
Oh, so now your pieces are slightly different, but it doesn't matter. It'll work.
It'll still work, yes. If you make as many mistakes as I do, then you learn how to fix them on the run. So I'll leave that for the moment and just do.
Oh, it's so funny. So Renee van Beek is watching on YouTube, but she sees the parties here on Facebook. Renee, the party is on my side of the screen, I have both coming up. So in the behind the scenes, I can see both the Facebook and the YouTube chat. So yeah, there's different parties that happen on the different platforms.
That's cool. I love it.
And so Jacqueline says happy mistakes, and Karen saying plak and blom. So for those who don't know Afrikaans, stick a flower. Kaftia M is saying, oh, add a small hand to the clock to spin around.
Oh, that's a good idea.
The party is in Stamperia, whether you're on YouTube or Facebook. Yeah, so some people are struggling with Facebook at the moment. It just seems to be giving everybody a hard time. So then
How come?
I don't know, just kicking people out and slow and yeah, just weird.
Maybe they're having server issues.
Could be. So now Deborah Evans is having YouTube FOMO issues. So the interesting thing is it's always the same people who are, I've noticed, who in Facebook, and the same crew who in YouTube. So they become like two little separate little families. Like I've noticed, especially in YouTube, everybody greets each other as soon as everybody arrives. I've been so bad once as to have, like, when I'm watching, when I'm not hosting like I am now, I'll have both YouTube and Facebook open so I can switch between and comment on both. Don't miss out. So the FOMO is real. How many collections do you use to make this album, and in what size? So let me put that on the screen. So at the moment, she has used mostly the 12 by 12, but she's also got the backgrounds pad, which comes in 8 by 8. You could do this entire folio just from the 12 by 12. It's entirely up to you. But because Shamela had access to the background sheet, and it's exciting to use the new stuff, it's very tempting always to try the new stuff. She's added that, and then she's also, some of the cutouts she's got are from the collectible sheet.
Okay, so
what did you not stick right?
I'm not seeing the edge properly. Let me just teach you something while I'm at it, because I should have done this in the first place.
Do what I say and not what I do, yes?
Here we go. So in order to see the edge, because you see it's brown on brown, I normally of white cardstock underneath it so that I can see where my edge is. And for some reason or other, I didn't do that now. So
one forgets one's own advice.
Yeah. And so when you get to my age and the eyes start going, you need that white.
All the help we can get.
Yeah. There we go. That's so much better. So I was looking at that edge instead of
bottom edge. Yes, it's distracting. It's even worse when you're working on black. I find black so hard to work on.
Okay, so this comes from the 12 by 12 sheet, and it was really so nice. And there's a continuation of the story.
Come down.
So, let me just come down. It's not stuck properly yet. Let me just
come down a bit more.
Come down.
Perfect, thank you. Up a bit. Sorry. Just a bit. Like a centimeter up.
Up.
Yep. Down a centimeter.
Down.
Perfect. Stop.
So I could not bring myself to stick this whole thing down. So I made a little flap with this one. So you see there's a story here, through the looking glass, and it says on the other side what Alice found. So now you've got a photo opportunity at the bottom.
And it's the front and the back of her. I love that.
Yes, I could not stick that down. I really couldn't. It was too heart-wrenching. Goes there. These go down. So I'm going to do the cover. Now, what I decided with the cover was where's my cover? I took the sheet with the
With the door.
with the door, and I cut the door out. So I've cut open the door and I've cut the door out. And this part of the paper here was screaming to be distressed. So I've taken a craft knife and I have cut into the paper.
So you can fuzzy up the edges.
And you don't have to, but I like texture and I like distressing things. I enjoy doing that. This is one of my go-to techniques. If I make a card and I don't know what to do, I distress the edges and that kind of just gets my creative juices flowing. So this is...
Such a clever idea.
I loved that when I saw it and I thought, why are you not closing? Oh, that's why. There we go.
Okay, down a centimeter.
Down.
Up a centimeter. Your centimeters, your inches. Come on. Okay, so half a centimeter then. Come down half a centimeter.
There we go. So in order to fill that gap, I'm going to glue Alice in there. Like that. And then the door will come over there. So let me just set all this up first and see if I am on the right place. I think my paper needs to be trimmed slightly. I'm just going to take a few off.
I love doors that open. Such a cool idea. You could even put a photograph inside the door instead of Alice.
You can. Where's my white sheet? See what I'm doing here. There we go. You see how much better it is when you got
Yeah, the contrast is immediate. Okay, come down a centimeter. Yep. You're getting good now.
Still a little bit big. I just measure what I'm on now. 7.5.
How are you going to make Alice in the middle of the doors? Do you have a plan for that?
How? I'm going to glue it down onto the... I was thinking of gluing it onto here first.
Yeah, but you're... Yeah.
See, the cardstock. Now, you see the reason why we've got the gap there is because this is a leftover piece from something that I've cut out. It's the one... which page was this? I can't remember which page it was. But this was a leftover piece. So it's not going to fit perfectly under here.
But no, but the door has the edge anyway, so you won't see it.
So you won't see it. You see? You'll just see her.
Your centering is perfect.
So I just need to make sure that we have her on the right place.
That's perfect.
I think that's right.
So now are you going to mark it so you know where to stick it? How are you going to do that? Because
I'm just going to leave her there with a little bit of glue around my...
Oh, so you're going to use the glue from the top sheet to glue her down. Okay. Now you see, I would have moved her. I would have marked it and moved her and glued her and then glued the top one. You're just too clever.
Oh, but I'm dumb. I put glue on the wrong side. That should be fine. Let's check all the glue dries. Yes, that's fine. Now we can glue them down.
Christiana's sending you hearts.
Oh, thank you, Christian. Very sweet of you. And what I've done is I haven't put glue over these areas. Let me just find something that I can show you. I didn't put glue in here.
Oh, so you can put a tuck
Just in
point.
case
Now,
I
is that
want.
the back page or the front page?
This is the front page. This is the front page.
But it
So
opens to the left. I'm confused.
it opens to the right.
I mean, but books open the other way.
Does it? Oh, well, then my book's opening this way. You see, you're right, actually. But
Have you glued that already?
I have.
Because that was supposed to be your front cover.
Oh. But you know what? In Islam,
I know, that's what I was thinking. You work with books that open the other way, so to you this is quite normal. And I'm thinking,
I'm like thinking of one of my own books. Yeah, you're right. Sorry,
so
guys.
yes, you're gonna have to give it to a fellow Muslim friend or find a Jewish people also read books from the other way. And I think Chinese also open their books that way. I don't know, I could be wrong on that factor, but
So,
yeah.
guys, in this instance, don't do as I do. Follow your own gut there.
Just as I'm looking at it and I'm thinking, so I know when I'm working on these live streams, when I look in the camera, it's backwards, and I'm thinking, is this backwards? And no, you're talking about the right hand side, left hand side. I'm looking at it, and still no. This is
Okay. So I was thinking I could stick a tag in there too if I wanted to. I just need to find the right size one. Okay, so that is officially. So what you have to do is to flip this thing and make the other side your.
But remember, everything is back to front in Wonderland, so this is perfect.
Oh, you're so clever, Belinda.
No, it's not me, Shamela Naidu.
Okay. So I've done the same for the back. And in fact, this piece has got more of those distressed edges, which is so cool. I love this paper just for that.
Built-in distress.
Yeah. When I saw this paper, I looked like I need to cut into that. I need to cut into that.
I haven't thought of doing that. I've often looked at those and I love them too, but I haven't thought to add extra dimension. Such a cool idea.
Does it give such a beautiful finish? Well, that's if you're up to it, because I know there's lots of people and what are you doing to the paper?
And now I'm going to probably butcher this poor person's name. Reneke. RENEYKL.
It's
Oh,
Renee.
it's an I. Sorry, I'm looking at the screen from a distance. It's an I, Reneke. And she says, and it's Wonderland and a backdoor escape.
Oh, yes, Renee. Thank you.
And Karen is saying, Karen Algira, a nice surprise at the back.
Karen Algira from KwaZulu-Natal.
Yes, and Shireen Woodley is saying nothing is wrong in handmade crafts. True story.
True story.
Debbie saying beautiful project. Debbie Longbottom.
Hi, Debbie. Thank you.
You've got so much essay support. Thanks for turning up, everybody. It's always so awesome when you're doing a live and everybody comes and supports you. We really appreciate it.
I really appreciate it. I must say, I have my ladies that come religiously every Wednesday night. They are there. Even if I mess up, they're still there. They're very kind.
Yeah, but you see, when we mess up, it makes everybody feel like we're human. It's not a bad thing, because I think a lot of people put the teachers on these pedestals, and we make mistakes too.
Oh, we do. I make lots of mistakes.
And now you're even inking it even nicer. Francis says only happy mistakes.
Only happy mistakes. Thank you, Francis. Francis is a good friend.
Yeah, and Tracy Hart Lawrence is saying, I make mistakes all the time. You just learn how to hide it.
You figure out how to hide it. Absolutely.
And Patty Weir. Sorry, I'm not good with. I'm dyslexic at the best of times, and then you have all the different languages to add to it. Really enjoy watching this live. You two make it so much fun. Loving the project. Thank you.
Thank you so much.
And Corin Smith saying Shamela is our South African Stamperia celebrity.
Oh, thank you, Corin. I think.
Okay, so it's Renee van Beek. It's actually Renee Key on YouTube. It's her nickname from childhood. Okay, that makes sense.
There we go.
Deborah's saying, love you, love your work. And then Jermaine's also saying, and you show us how to fix the mistakes. Exactly. And Rosario is saying, I'm guilty of gluing things upside down. I'm considering calling it my signature.
That's a good one. I like that.
Craft Your Own is enjoying the technique on the back page.
Thank you. I did a mixed media book a couple of weeks ago on our Facebook Live, and my sample, despite checking the sample several times, I still ended up doing the wrong side. I still ended up decorating the back instead of the front.
Oh, well.
Fortunately, it's one of those books that we're going to gesso, and we're going to add lots of layers and stuff to it, so no one's going to notice.
So Susan Blake is saying, thank you, Shamela. You made the project tonight so easy. We could all understand your every move. Great attention to detail. Very inspiring. Very creative. Absolutely fantastic. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
I'm not finished yet. It's an essay.
Okay.
Took a lot of tips to take away tonight. Very enjoyable to watch you. It was also great listening to you as well, Belinda. Oh, thank you.
It's so sweet. Okay, I'm trying to make the tag fit.
I think you have to trim it.
Yeah. But I want it to be trimmed evenly on either side also, you know.
Of course, of course.
The CD part.
Oh, Penny Van is in the house. Hello, Penny.
So what I thought was, by putting a tag inside here, if you're gifting this to someone, you could actually write a little message on there and put it into the front.
And Amanda van der Space saying, you're simply the best. Learn so much every time.
Oh, thank you, Amanda. Amanda is a big, big Alice fan too, I think. Amanda's Alice order is sitting here, I think. I need to ship it off. So guys, sorry, your what you call it is your folio. Sorry, I was gonna open to the right.
Well, that's Alice.
We shall use that as the excuse. Thank you so much. Who thought of it, Renee?
Yeah, oh crumbs, it was 100 messages ago. Let me just see. No, it was
Well, thank you to whoever it was. Okay, so now remember, this panel here is going to be slightly smaller, my one, but when I send you the notes, I'll give you the proper measurements. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to trim that off, but because there's a gap there, I'm just going to use the extra piece, put it down there, and the paper will still carry on.
Oh, so clever. And it was Shamela Naidu.
Oh, Shamela.
And Aga is speechless. It's amazing.
Thank you. Here we go. Where's my little blending tool? So what I'll do is when I'm completely done with it, I will do a video walkthrough because you can't do photographs with something like this.
Oh, it's so hard. Yeah.
So I'll do a little video caption and then I'll show you how it ended up. And you can see what the whole finished product looks like.
Thank you, thank you, thank you. That'll be awesome.
I'm so glad I edged all these before we started. I sat this morning and you have no idea how long it took to do all this.
Oh, it does. All the preparation, all those fiddly little things, the things that make a significant difference. It doesn't look like much, but it makes a big difference to the overall finished look.
And there's lots of
Consuming.
finishing touches that we can still do to it. So I will be doing that.
That works perfectly.
Yep. You see what I mean about fixing a mistake. It's just another opportunity to look good. Or to look clever. There we go. See, now the clock carries on.
Very, very clever. Well done.
There.
Perfect.
Now, you can just, these are areas where you can just add photographs to both sides, because the idea is when you open up, you get some feast of all the different papers. You get an idea of what
textures and patterns and everything. Yes.
Then over here we've got pockets.
Oh, for all the.
I have cut out of
Oh,
the
those are so gorgeous. Yeah.
which is so cool. They fit into the pocket beautifully.
I would actually still use this as the front and have the door at the back, to be honest. I actually think it's even more quirky and brilliant.
But now my ribbon's on the wrong way, Belinda. Let's see.
No, turn it over. What have you got on the other side?
Oh, this.
You could do something on there and make that the front. I really like the door as the back.
Okay. Well, we'll see. Let me finish.
See where this takes you. Down the Alice rabbit hole.
Let me think about that one. I think that's a good idea, actually. So, I think what we can do is finish the rest of it offline or off air, and I shall do a video review of the completed one. How's that?
Perfect. That's absolutely perfect. So Caroline is asking if we're going to have measurements. Yes, Caroline, we did. Yes. We will do measurements. So we won't have the accidental measurements. We'll have the real measurements of what it should have been. And we will put those in the Stampers Worldwide, and I will post it in my group, and I will post it, and Shamela will post it in her group. So we'll put it in as many places as possible.
Cool.
Yes, so that's right. And we've got everybody loving it. Yes, and Shireen Moody saying, Shamela, you'll come with a fabulous front cover with a topper.
We shall see. Give me time.
And Tina says, beautiful album, a real pleasure to watch your things come together. This is stunning, fantastic album. Everybody's been enjoying it, Amanda. And yes, it can be any size. You can make everything to fit your own. And Susan's looking forward to the video. Amazing project. Thank you.
Thank you so much. And I really
and this lady's having a problem with wanting to cut it, but we understand the feeling. We all have that.
We all indeed.
Everybody's saying thank you and really enjoyed today. Yes, thanks for staying with us. We have had an average of 100 people stay with us for a solid 2.5 hours.
Oh, wonderful. Thank you so much, everyone. I really appreciate it. It puts all the hard work behind the scenes, makes it so much more worthwhile.
Okay,
Honestly.
so Jacqueline's asking us to post the measurements in YouTube. Jacqueline,
I
I
will,
don't have access to that.
but what I'll do is when I post the video of my page through, I'll put the measurements in the comments. I mean, in the description box. Sorry.
Okay, but this is on Stamperia's thing, so I will ask Omar if he can add the measurements in the description box for YouTube. I'll see if we can get that right. Otherwise, Jacqueline, just look for Shamela on YouTube and it will be in her description box. So everybody's loving it. Thanks, everybody. We're going to say goodbye now. Don't forget, yes, give thumbs up and like and share. Join a pizza box on Monday.
Enjoy. Have a good weekend, everyone. Lots of love.
Bye.